This is 2009 ordinary level section B3, intersection of solids or interpenetration. It says the 3D graphic on the right shows a child's toy. Figure B3 below shows one of the blocks and one of the pegs from the toy. So the red peg here, the triangular one. The peg is an equilateral triangular prism of side 60. So based on an equilateral triangle, side 60 millimeters. Draw the given plan and elevation and project an end elevation of the block. So it's giving you the order to start the question. Plan up to an elevation and then the end elevation. And we have to show all lines of interpenetration. So when we get to the question, our plan is where we're going to start. It is 90, then we step over 45, 30. We have our semicircle here, which is radius 45 or half of the 90, and then we can put in our hexagonal base. So to throw that in there now. So we started off there. We had our XY line put in, down 20 millimeters to start the drawing. It's 90 deep, so measure down our 90 millimeters here. Step over 45 and 30. And this is all to be drawn lightly because there'll be a few lines coming around this later. Halfway across there is 45, so step across 45 mil. And we draw on our semicircle. .30 set square then to draw in the hexagon. So down at 30, up at 30 from the edge of the semicircle, and then up at the end. That's the outline of the plan done. Project all of that to the elevation. Back to our question. In our elevation, it's 90 millimeters high, and then we can draw in our shape from there. Alright, so I've drawn in most of the elevation up above. Now it's a matter of putting in our section here. So our prism and plan, it is 60 millimeters, and we can find the center. We're going to project that up to the end view then, and then we'll project it into our elevation. So we're going to draw our prism here, project an end view, and then we'll finish off the elevation. So it said it's 60 millimeters, which is down 15 and up 15, leaves us with 60 in the center. That's fine. So our prism that we're dealing with we'll just cut it off here. I think it says 20 in the question. Halfway for the center point is 30. That gives the plan view of the prism. And then this one, the lines are going to come in and disappear somewhere, but we don't know exactly where. So that's our plan pretty much finished out. We label the lines 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, and 3. And I'm going to go draw those in the elevation and end view. It shows in the question that the prism is 20 millimeters off the ground. So 20 mil off the ground is where I'm going to start. So when I come along, as always, I'll take the edge of the elevation and plan. So in other words, my point here, edge here, and I'll take that down at a 45 degree angle. I'm going to project those lines into my end view. So lines 1, 2, and 3 have been projected across and up. It said that the prism is starting 20 millimeters off the ground, so I'm just going to measure up 10, 20. And put in the base of the prism. So the base of the prism, here is line 3, here is line 1. 2 is up the center, and it has an equilateral triangle of 60 millimeters, so it's 60 both sides. So I can just bisect, and this should reach. That is where 2 is. So when I come up, that's how I find 2. So it said it was based on an equilateral triangle. Then to finish out my elevation, I bring those lines across. So that lets me draw my elevation. I have almost the elevation and plan finished. I need to do the interpenetration. I'm going to label these lines again up here. This is 2, 2. 3, 3 is here. And 1, 1 is in the same position. So they're there. We take it in 2 halves. I see here that line 2 comes in and hits the edge at this point. Line 3 comes in and hits the edge at this point. And line 1 comes in and hits the edge at that point. So I'm seeing where the lines hit an edge. It's very definite. I can bring those to plan. So line 2 comes as far as here. We'll take that down. So I took point 2 down, hits the line. There it is. 3 and 1 hit at this point, so we'll bring those down. And they hit the line. Here's 3. Here's 1. And so I can draw that in. That is the interpenetration. That's what we're going to see from above. That is the left hand side of the drawing done. The right hand side we need to do now. Now to finish off the right hand side, the interpenetration, in other words to find the interpenetration up here, I need to draw my end view and finish it off. So I'm going to finish out the end view. So I'm going to bring my edges over and up, edge over and up, and I'll finish off my end view. Height comes from across here. So my 2 outer edges, when I bring them up, there is one outer edge. Other outer edge is over here. Bring it up. And I also need to bring up this edge and this edge. And I'm going to call that edge A, this edge B. Bring A across, bring B across. And bring those up to the elevation. So when I come up and draw B in the elevation, the end elevation, there it is. And A the same. Here comes A across to the 45 degree line, bring it up, and draw that. That is my end view drawn in. Line A, when I bring it across and up, here is A. Line B, when I bring it across, we have B. And I need to use those lines as part of my interpenetration. Now the right hand side is slightly trickier. If I look here and plan, what happens is the line is going to come around and it has to bend around this corner A. That is why it's trickier. Here was much easier because we only had 3 points to deal with. Whereas here we have to go from 1, bend around corner A on the way to 2. And when I look at that in the end view, it's here. Here's 1. It bends around corner A on the way to 2. And those are the points that we have to find. To do those, here's line 1. And I see where 1 cuts the surface, it hits it there. So I can take that up. And again, line 1 is here. So there is my 1. 2 was pretty straightforward. 2 comes in and hits at this point, so it's the edge. So when 2 comes in, it's actually going to stop here on the edge. I need to find the position of A where it bends around here. And if you look up on this side of the drawing, it cuts it at this point. There is A. So when I bring that across, it gives me the position. A in elevation is here, and I take it up from the bottom. Here is air coming up from the plan. It comes in from the end view, so I get point A. And what I end up with is 1 to A to 2. That is the shape. And I can finish out my interpenetration there now. That is the shape done. I'll quickly colour it so it makes a bit of sense. So that's our completed shape. Plan and elevation view of it.